didn't get muted so much in spaces. Long, go ahead. I see. I don't know if it's.
I was just gonna say about the property taxes. Like, okay, I bought this house in 2018. It was like a government, like a care home before I bought it. So everything was on the up and up. I didn't even need an inspection. Everything was perfect. And my property taxes was like $545. And then the next year, no improvements, like zero improvements. Like I was like party land. Basically, it went up from
Did she cut
$545.
out, or is it just me?
Oh,
I,
I'm
I
still
can
here.
hear her talking.
Yeah. So then I went to $7,000 with no improvements. And the interests that were behind that were my malignant narcissist. And so I was like, okay, F this. I'm not going to stay in this house with $7,000 property taxes when it was $545 when I bought it last year. So I put it on the market and I got an offer for $650,000. And then they came in with all their creepy little lawyers and they blocked the sale of my home. So if I would have just sold it at the time, I would have been able to buy at that time, the market at that time, I could have bought two houses mortgage free plus paid off the mortgage that I had remaining. But no, they effed me over hugely. And what they did was they blocked the sale, blocked the sale, blocked the sale, gave me a couple fake realtors who were never showing the house. Everyone's like, what's going on with your house? It should have sold in 5 minutes for that price because it was like a 3-story, 5-bedroom, huge open concept home, beautiful backyard, room for parking. You could have had a business there. It was like R3. And no, they blocked and blocked the sale of my home for 4 years. So, but by the time I sold it, I got a low ball offer for like 475, but I'd been so much vandalism and harassment by that time. I was like, fine, just get me out of here. And yeah, so basically, by the time I sold my house, I couldn't even afford one house. When if I would have sold it when I first got my 650 grand offer, I could have bought two houses mortgage free and paid off the mortgage. So this is all the crap that started in 2018, 2019 with the property taxes, upped all the rents. No one can afford to live anywhere anymore because they're all blaming the landlords. I'm like, it's not the landlords, it's the freaking property taxes. So that's when all the BS started with the high rents and like no one can afford anything. We used to go through the drive-through and say go into like a Burger King, $3 for each burger. Okay, $9. I can afford that. Now it's like $12 for each burger. So we're talking like $36 for 3 burgers. Are you freaking kidding me? So they are nickel and diming us to death. It's a full on agenda and it's so disgusting. And they need to grow up and we need to hold them accountable. And I'll land it there.
What state are all y'all from? I keep hearing everybody say that they were forced to have a realtor. What state are y'all in that they do not let you do a for sale by owner?
Okay, that was in Canada, and because it was such a sabotage, after I sold it, I could only afford to move to Florida and buy in Florida. So I bought a house mortgage free in Florida after that, but that was in British Columbia, Canada, where I was sabotaged that badly.
I'm in Ohio, so I was able to do it for sale. Mine was for sale by owner. I actually got. I I went through a little bit of a different route, and I went through something called NACA, which my real estate agent brought up. one of her coworkers' clients was using it, and at first I was like, this sounds really scammy, but I was like, you know what, I'll check out. And it was a gigantic pain in the ass to go through the program because it was just like first time homeowner type of thing, and I don't know, you had to just for a million, but at the end of the day, I ended up, getting a house, and then I ended up being able to buy down my interest to like 0.5%, which is insane for the life of the loan. So, can't really beat that. So I'm not complaining. In the ass, but in the end, it all worked out. Can you guys?
What's funny is when you look at the people who vote for these tax increases, go back and look at the percentage of increase from the assessor's office on their homes versus everybody else's. What you'll find is that their homes miraculously don't increase in value as far as the county's concerned. They do as far as any appraiser concerns, but not the county at the same rate that everybody else does. So that might be something you might want to look at too and bring it
Dude, I
up.
might. That's a great little tidbit. Thank you. I'll go into the county records and I will do that. I will do that. That's a great tidbit. Thank
And
you.
just take the last 10 years, see what their average is of what they've increased versus everybody else.
Nikki, what do you have to have ready by tomorrow?
So I have to prepare. You go to the board of revision, and you have to basically have proof that your house like needs certain things. So like my roof got fucked up, like my fence is fucked. Like there's a lot of stuff that had like repair wise. But like for me, what I didn't
Was
go
there a
around.
storm?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a miss. So we have stuff that I have to get from basically a tornado that was, but that's you know. But there's stuff that was going like I needed like okay, they were to sell my house tomorrow. What would the value of it? And like I have to say like because the door needs to be fixed or window or the
Nikki,
roof or
Nikki,
fence.
Nikki,
I'm like,
Nikki, you're breaking up.
fuck. I don't know what to do. I can't move.
Yeah, you
So,
tell you
so hold
complain
on,
tomorrow and
hold on,
tell them that
Sleepy,
your wife.
hold on. God fucking damn it. She's already having issues with us hearing her. Why do you think you coming off your mic is gonna help any? Nikki, unmute.
I don't know what's going
All
on.
right,
Is
now you
it?
sound good. Don't move.
I'm in the worst possible
All right,
spot.
so repeat what you were saying.
I don't remember. I'm old. Okay, so the revision. So when you basically have to say, so like if I were to list my house for sale tomorrow, like why would it be not at the amount that they have it appraised at? Like they never looked at it. They just raised it a certain percentage based on whatever. Like we just happened to get hit because there were two things that happened at once because they're not supposed to legally be able to spike your property taxes, but it happened. And so now everybody's trying like I'm actually going to probably create a group on X. Like I'm going to talk to the
All right,
woman who
hold
started.
on. So you have damage to your house right now?
Well, it's just it's not necessarily I just have to like if I were to list my house for sale, I have to say like it's not going to be worth what you say it would be worth less because like I need to get my sliding glass door fixed. Like there's things that are I have to come up with all the things that would lower the value of my house. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like basically like because my like I'm gonna write like I haven't had electrical upgrades, so
Is
like
there a
that's gonna
certain form that they have you filling out?
I already filled out the form, like
What's
this
the
is the
form
meeting.
name?
I don't remember. It was just something about it was probably request for something like request
All right.
review.
So this is what you can do. You could actually take pictures of the damage of whatever happened, right? Your screen door or whatever around the exterior house, whatever broke, and then put it in Chat GPT and it'll analyze what's actually damaged. So it might give you some assistance in remembering what.
My plan is because I have to, that's I'm working now, so I can print those out. But like what I'm gonna have Chat GPT do is like I started it last night to see if it would work, and it was like it's thought of. So what I'm gonna do is Chat GPT put in all the stuff that I need, all the stuff that I have it analyze, and then it's going to analyze all of the beers, what the base estimate would be for every, and it would on the value currently and after us the value would end up being so I'm gonna be lucky that I'm gonna do all of it. I just have to get the right
You're killing me with your service.
oh, it's amazing. All right, nervous to change. I know it's bad. I do. And then I'm used to when I do spaces, like I always had 2 or 3. I just have 1 right now. Like the other, like they just weren't working right. So I have to get
Did you
in,
just do something different just now? Because it just came in super clear all of a sudden.
in here.
If you have like a Wi-Fi, you can toggle off and go to like the 4G or whatever. That might help.
I can't. You know, let's see. I should like 1 bar right now.
You know, you could if you have a computer, you could host it from there.
You know what? I haven't tried it. I need to get my laptop out and see if I can do something through there. I haven't even started it.
Sometimes going to airplane mode helps too, and then coming back off of it. It won't disconnect you either.
Phone. See, right now, the phone I have is broken and it's like almost full. So like I had to delete a bunch of stuff earlier just to get stuff to work. So you know when your phone just does stuff and you just know you need another one, like it's like I'm kind of there. So it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was just about to suggest AI, and then you said you asked AI. But so you're ahead of
No,
me.
I was because I do a lot of stuff when it comes to like legal or medical. Like I go through. It's cool because like the way that I have to recognize it, which I didn't know, after using it, like it would kind of do that, and then cross check to make sure it's just not whatever. The more you use that stuff, it's easier to spit out. That I was like, I was pretty impressed with you. Like, wow, you kind of know this stuff. Knows. Oh, did it freeze up?
You were just pinging real bad, and we couldn't understand you. But what's funny is you can hear us, right?
I can't hear you guys curved out. You know what?
Amazing.
I could try to close out and come back in and see if it helps. But I might lose space. If I can, let me. Well, go ahead. I see. I don't know if it's.
I was just gonna say about the property taxes. Like, okay, I bought this house in 2018. It was like a government, like a care home before I bought it. So everything was on the up and up. I didn't even need an inspection. Everything was perfect. And my property taxes was like $545. And then the next year, no improvements, like zero improvements. Like I was like party land. Basically, it went up from
Did she cut
$545.
out, or is it just me?
Oh,
I,
I'm
I
still
can
here.
hear her talking.
Yeah. So then I went to $7,000 with no improvements. And the interests that were behind that were my malignant narcissist. And so I was like, okay, F this. I'm not going to stay in this house with $7,000 property taxes when it was $545 when I bought it last year. So I put it on the market, and I got an offer for $650,000. And then they came in with all their creepy little lawyers and they blocked the sale of my home. So if I would have just sold it at the time, I would have been able to buy at that time, the market of that time, I could have bought two houses mortgage free plus paid off the mortgage that I had remaining. But no, they effed me over hugely. And what they did was they blocked the sale, blocked the sale, blocked the sale, gave me a couple fake realtors who were never showing the house. Everyone's like, what's going on with your house? It should have sold in 5 minutes for that price because it was like a 3-story, 5-bedroom, huge open concept home, beautiful backyard, room for parking. You could have had a business there. It was like R3. And no, they blocked and blocked the sale of my home for 4 years. So, but by the time I sold it, I got a low ball offer for like 475, but I'd been so much vandalism and harassment by that time. I was like, fine, just get me out of here. And yeah, so basically, by the time I sold my house, I couldn't even afford one house. When if I would have sold it when I first got my 650 grand offer, I could have bought two houses mortgage free and paid off the mortgage. So this is all the crap that started in 2018, 2019 with the property taxes, upped all the rents. No one can afford to live anywhere anymore because they're all blaming the landlords. I'm like, it's not the landlords, it's the freaking property taxes. So that's when all the BS started with the high rents and like no one can afford anything. We used to go through the drive-through and say go into like a Burger King, $3 for each burger. Okay, $9. I can afford that. Now it's like $12 for each burger. So we're talking like $36 for 3 burgers. Are you freaking kidding me? So they are nickel and diming us to death. It's a full on agenda and it's so disgusting. And they need to grow up and we need to hold them accountable. And I'll land it there.
What state are all y'all from? I keep hearing everybody say that they were forced to have a realtor. What state are y'all in that they do not let you do a for sale by owner?
Okay, that was in Canada, and because it was such a sabotage, after I sold it, I could only afford to move to Florida and buy in Florida. So I bought a house mortgage free in Florida after that, but that was in British Columbia, Canada, where I was sabotaged that badly.
I'm in Ohio, so I was able to do it for sale. Mine was for sale by owner. I actually got I I went through a little bit of a different route, and I went through something called NACA, which my real estate agent brought up. One of her coworkers' clients was using it, and at first I was like, this sounds really scammy, but I was like, you know what, I'll check it out, and it was a gigantic pain in the ass to go through the program because it was just like first time homeowner type of thing, and I don't know, you had to just for a million, but at the end of the day, I ended up, getting a house, and then I ended up being able to buy down my interest to like 0.5%, which is insane for the life of the loan. So, can't really beat that. So I'm not complaining. In the ass, but in the end, it all worked out. Can you guys?
If you're around an area, especially with commercial, but mainly in like a lot of apartments anywhere close to you, you have one of the insurance companies, Farm Bureau. Farm Bureau has one of the strongest lobbyist groups out there for the apartment complexes, and the reason they help keep the taxes down. It's kind of the opposite. They push the taxes down so that their apartment complexes don't have to pay near as much in taxes. Uh, but what happens, it's kind of the opposite of what you are talking about. It actually hurts your area because now you don't have money for roads and for other things that those taxes take care of. Which is really crappy on the other side of that. And I know that's not the example y'all were given, but it just shows you how much influence there is in that area.
I'm working like I did get I haven't looked at anything yet, but I got in touch with the lady who started the petition for getting the petition signed so we can get the property tax thing put on the ballot. And this was just recent, so I haven't really had a chance to get in there and look at it and talk with her and stuff, but I want to find out because I do intend to um like they have models and they have done plans that make up for, like, if they take away the property taxes, basically they have a plan of where other money would be able to come from. So the thing that we have, the problem is that people go with a certain kind of budget in mind, and then all of a sudden, here they are, like, totally screwed over with a property tax that's way higher than what they budgeted. Like the lady that started it, she's in a city, and she was like, I bought my house years ago and it was like 75,000, and now I have it at 230,000. And at this point she's elderly and she's having a hard time, you know, making up for it. So it's like
Yeah, with the
the
inflation
elderly
of
really
the
got hit.
tax rate, the tax rate will
Yeah.
be adjusted to, well, not
But
adjusted, but
there was
it's
something
on
that
the
happened.
value of the higher price. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
It's
there
like
were two
adding a
things that
second
happened.
mortgage. The price is more than another mortgage. It was for me.
So people lose their
It's
homes. That's why
ridiculous.
Ron DeSantis, hopefully, in Florida, gets that pushed through. He was talking big about, getting rid of property tax, and it was beautiful what he said. He says what I say. You pay off your property. I could understand well, I don't agree with it, but I could understand taxing you while you're paying it off, or when you're paying for it. But then after that, you own it. That's how America works. The government doesn't own your property when you own it. Yeah, you end up paying rent to the government. And he said those very words that I always say. So I was like very proud of that moment. I was like, yes, thank God,
Exactly.
because
When my property
that's
taxes
America.
went to over 7 grand, it was like my property taxes are now a bigger payment than my mortgage. That was how ridiculous it was.
Yeah, that pretty much happened. It happened to a lot of people. I know, and it's a bummer, but just stress out about having to deal with this. But it's like, I didn't get hit as bad as some people did, but still got hit. I mean, it's pissed me off enough to try to, be like, so how we're gonna get this, hopefully get reduced. You know, like the photos that I'm looking for, I really need like where I thought they were, they're not, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm like trying to desperately figure out where the hell. I thought Pack Reddit photos pretty good too. If we run out to talk about that, I think that was possible. Oh, or did everybody, can you still hear me?
So
Oh,
I just did a quick AI search just to see what would come up for Ohio, and there's a group called the, give me a second here, Ohio Citizens for Property Tax Reform, which are actively working to raise awareness and influence policy changes to address property tax concerns across the state. Um, I'm sorry.
so if it does cut out, that's fine. I'll tell you guys ahead of time. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's a when I did a quick AI search for lawyers that are fighting against rising property tax, this group came up. It's called Ohio Citizens for Property Tax Reform.
Yep, that's the one.
So have you joined with them?
That's who I talked to somebody that she put me with a lady that started it. And it was just today, so I haven't got to talk to her yet. I have to do all this stuff right now. And then I'm going to try to find out, what she's got going on this week, maybe, and then talk to her about where her presence is. Like, I don't think they have a presence here on X. So I'm going to find out if she wants me to start something or what. I mean, like, we have a year. So we have until July of next year to get the signatures to get it put on the ballot. And I just need to find out, like, all the information that they need. They have a lot of people, she said, that are, of course, you have the infiltrators that are trying to make it not happen. It's like, so you have to have enough knowledge to educate people. Like, okay, well, it's not like the money's going to be on, like, it'll come from other places. So there's things that people can choose to buy where there's a tax, where your property, like, you don't have a choice. Like, it can just be like, we're going to charge you an extra $10,000 a month. If there's nothing that stops them from doing the spikes in a property tax, there's nothing that's not okay. Like, there has to be some sort of protection for the landowner, the homeowner. Like, when you buy a house, you budget for it, and all of a sudden, like, you get a site that's just fucked up. So people are pissed here right now.
Make sure you vet the attorneys too, for those groups, because a lot of times advocacy groups are run by attorneys, and sometimes they are actually working with the other side more than you would probably care for them to. But I'm not saying that about this group. I don't know anything about this group. They could be straight up. I'm just saying, make sure before you jump in on something like that.
The one that she's the one that started I can't remember her last name starts with a B, but it's I can't remember, but she's the one that's behind it. So, like, whatever she did, she filed it. She's got it going. Like, there's a video that they sent me, where she's being interviewed and stuff. So, I know that she's legit, and I like I said, I haven't talked to her to find out anything about their team of lawyers or anything like that.
And make sure you don't put yourself out there, because you will get some retaliation on some stuff like that, because you're probably going to have to dig up some dirt on some people.
Honestly, like, I'm too old to care, to be frank. I mean, like, there's only so much that you can do to get beat down. Like, I'm not going to be intimidated by a bunch of bullshit. Like, I just don't care. Like, it's not gonna. There's nothing that they can do to ruin my life. Like, I mean, they can try, but it's like, I don't have anything. I have my little house, 2 little dogs. Like, I don't have. I'm just a normal person that struggles to survive from day to day. And if somebody wants to make me miserable for being able to, like, have the right to say what I feel or what I want, like, they can go fuck
Well,
themselves.
the good thing is
And
this crosses party lines too. So you'll
it
find
really
lots of
does.
people
Yeah,
to support, from across a large spectrum.
it does. Yeah, I mean, once you start, it's so significant. I mean, there are places. So when I was looking for a house in 2000, let's see, 2015, 16, there was certain areas, because your taxes aren't all the same statewide. It's, by city, county, whatever, like, they're different. Like, there are areas, like, that are so fucking high, it's ridiculous. I mean, really high. And if they were high back in 2017 and they went through this revaluation, and they got doubled. I mean, there's people that could be paying for a normal house that could be over $20,000 extra a year or higher. On the east side of Cleveland, when I was looking, east side of Cleveland is so bad. The property itself can be really cheap, but the taxes can be like $10,000 a month. It's insane. So if those people got doubled, they're priced out like so fast. Like it could cause such a problem in the state that I think they're going to have to do something, because otherwise they're going to end up with um, delinquent mortgages like more than they've ever seen. You know, it's just like people aren't going to be able to handle it. Is everybody asleep, or am I fading again, or
It
can you
may
hear me?
just be a subject that everybody's not on board with or something. I don't know.
But it's okay. I mean, we're just late night giving whatever. Because that's how my spaces work. I mean, for fuck's sake, when I first started on here, I had one open for 6 days straight, and it was basically just like highs and lows. I slept and other people would co-host, and it never ended. Like people didn't want it to end. It was the same thing. I'm like, we're not talking about anything that was in the news. At that time it was like you can't talk about COVID. You can't talk about the spy balloon. You can't talk about Paul Pelosi getting hit with a hammer. Like, we need to figure out. That's where the psyops and rabbit holes came from. Because I'm like, what's a psyop and where's a rabbit hole we need to dig? So, that was from a long time ago. And I did, like I said, I used to do spaces more, and then just sort of got burnt out a little bit, and then would go here and there. And I get frustrated because sometimes, like, I lose my train of thought, and it's like, if you go into a space, you're either rushed or interrupted, and it's super frustrating. So I'd like to try to give people respect to, talk a little bit and at least let them try to clear a thought out of their head without getting pummeled with, a bunch of crap.
Hey, the one point I really really like what you were just saying about that. What can they do to you? I love it. That's the attitude we have to have, right? The thing is that they tax you on unrealized gains, right? It's basically like telling you that, oh, your stocks are now worth this much, and you have to pay a tax on your stock increases. But
Mm-hmm.
it's unrealized gains that they want to get us for, and it's just asinine if you
Yeah,
think about it.
that's not
And
going to be acceptable.
yeah, it's just completely unacceptable,
Screw
man. And
that.
and the thing is that he was talking about that roads won't get fixed or certain things. That's a bunch of bullshit because I think it's included in the tax on the gas. I think it's
Now,
FEG
now,
tax on
now
Yeah,
gas.
the question would be: do we do on
that's what
unrealized losses? Do we get paid on that? You know what I mean? It's a ridiculous thing on its idea for someone to propose that. I just like backhand
Yeah,
them. If someone
yeah,
said
it
that
would
to
be.
me,
I'm
like,
going to
what? That's your
increase
idea?
your stocks, and then I'm going to reduce them after you pay your taxes.
Right? Let's pump up your stocks, rob you, and then we'll reduce them and then buy them up. Nah, we're not playing
Well,
that game.
dude, I had an asset that they put a valuation on. I went right into the tax assessor or whatever, and I go, I want you to buy it for that price. It is for sale, and you are to buy it. And they're like, no, 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 we won't. We're not going to buy it. I'm like, you are going to buy it. That's your assessment. You're giving me that.
that's funny. It's like you said you wanted to be. The thing is, like, just okay, let's just ding, like, they don't really look at anything. Like, they just don't think, like, that's they make it's the process part. So, like, instead of just doing this blanket type of, like, we're just upping it because this is what the house market, because the real estate market fucked, then everything got fucked. So, like, the houses can get fucked. So it's like, okay, well, now all of a sudden, like, all these houses that weren't worth that much are now worth more. So now we have to make all the other houses worth more. And,
It's an
like, it really just makes
unrealized value,
yeah,
essentially,
well,
and they're robbing you on that as well. Well, they're trying to get you on unrealized gains now, but they haven't done it. So, but they've been doing the unrealized value on their property in certain areas. Some places your original purchase price, possibly. But that's what, if they were to do it that way, that they couldn't, like, just unrealized value on your house. Like, that's not fair for people that
I'm not sure if that's what
I've
it was
I've
called.
always said with inflation to people, like, imagine that guy that retired in the late '90s, the schmuck that put his money away in savings, and now it's worthless, and he loses his property, he's on the street. It's like, this is it's messed up, and it's virtual theft that they've done to the American people. Anybody that put any money in savings or whatever, your best bet was gold, but not everyone's smart about that, like, or knowledgeable to it.
Adam, do you remember back when we were doing the spaces, and like, I would always be like, I don't care what we're talking about, not nobody's allowed to talk about crypto. Do you remember that? I'm like, no, we're not talking about it. We're never talking. I don't want any part. Like, as soon as the conversation went to crypto, I would like moons or anyone like, done. We're done with it. No, but
Yeah, I remember that.
okay. So that time, it had that time because I was so I'm like, fuck it. Like, I was doing the space with Adrian. Like, no, not gonna deal with this crypto stuff. Like, you wanted me to do a co-host, and I'm like, oh, that was probably the last space. I'm like, I'm done. And so, because he started getting in crypto, and I'm like, around that time, I think I have to check what my wallet was, but I was like, I opened a Robinhood account, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to buy, just to see what happens. And I bought Bitcoin when it was at
Hi, it's me, Laura. I'm
27,000
glad
some
to see you
dollars.
again. I just
Nice.
Some dollars worth. So that $1, I mean, it's worth quite a bit more than $1.
Yeah.
It's what, triple maybe? So it's like three or four or whatever. So it was 27,000 when I bought it, and I'm kicking myself because I'm like, well, I should have at least bought $10 worth. But yeah, so
Nikki,
They
Nikki,
love
my
you.
girlfriend, my girlfriend, Nikki, my girlfriend was in MBA school at the time that was kind of taken off, and they did it as a project. She put in $200 of Bitcoin. She had like 300 shares or something like that, and she has zero now. But don't feel bad about yours. She had 300 or 200 Bitcoin. So
I've got friends that bought it when it was early on and still have, but you know, me, I missed out on it because I was just stuck on that fiat. But the thing is, I realized is, like, you can make money with it, like, or currency, let's say, U.S. dollars. Um, you invest in it, you pull out whatever ups and downs, you play that sort of thing. Yeah, that's fine. It's gambling. But yeah, that was a good gamble. I wish I got jumped in on. My thing was, I bought shares of GameStop back way before Roaring Kitty or any of that came out, and the whole fad, the GME pump fad came out. I was looking at, I'm a gamer, so I know when consoles are coming out, and I looked at GameStop's previous stock, and it would go up to like $80 somewhere around there, or $60 to $70 whenever basically consoles came out. So I bought a bunch of shares at $3, $4, something like that, and I kept on buying more and more. And then all of a sudden, this Roaring Kitty guy came out, and they started pumping it. I'm like, oh shit, let's go, you know. But I ended up, you know, kicking myself in the tail, and I ended up, for 2 years, I was upset about it because I sold at a logical point rather than an illogical 350 plus or $400, whatever it hit, 450, 500 maybe at one point a share. Yeah, so I kind of, like, kicked myself in the pants about that for like 2 years, but I got over it because I would have been up like $80 grand, something like that. That would have been a real nice, you know, but either which way, I did all right, considering what I invested in. So that was pretty good. I was happy with that. I got to get past it. Still kicking myself in the pants, but whatever.
It's just one of those things you don't know, you know. But I
I
mean,
got
like
some XRP right now, and that's gonna
I
be.
I don't remember which one I bought. I bought Doge, I bought Shiba Inu, I bought one with an X. I can't remember if it's XRP or XL. It's Robinhood won't let you buy one of them.
Not
And like
XLM.
maybe it was the one
Stellar
that was
Lumen. Yeah, my brother told me XRP is on Robinhood. He's on Robinhood, which I'm like, GameStop. Like Robinhood messed so many people up on GameStop and did not like allow them to sell their shares for like 3 days or something like that, and that's messed up. So they were playing the market, but he bought XLM, which is Stellar Lumen, which is one of the ISOs, and then also XRP on Robinhood. But I'm on Coinbase, which I transfer to Zamin and then have on a cold wallet. But yeah, I got all pretty much a little bit of all the ISOs.
I don't know, man. All I know is like the one that I was Sir Oliver was we were talking about it back then because he was always into that and he was like,
That would be XRP.
yeah.
That would be XRP if you got down with that. Well,
Yeah,
then
but I didn't because
this
you couldn't get it on Robinhood because it was like it was like really low. It was like 7 or 8 cents or something. And he's like,
uh,
and I did, and I was like, and then now it's up really a lot. Like,
it's at like 250,
yeah,
and
because
it hasn't passed 3, but it doesn't matter right now because it's not active. It's a technology that you bought essentially, which is going to be replacing Swift.
but you
As
can
far as
sell
a
it. So like if you buy it, you like because I bought stuff and I sold it. You know, I made
well,
like
yeah,
$40.
well, yeah, that's good. And the thing is, I think in
Well, they
November
like
when this,
people sell like make millions in here. I am like, I'm on like maybe like $30. I was so I opened my profile once because it was normally around like $50 or something, and I opened it once and I was like, holy shit, it's over $100. Like, what happened? You know, the
oh, that's
worst.
sometimes the best. You play the long
I
game.
know.
You
Well,
don't
but
check on
then
it, you forget about it, and then you look at it, and it's like, whoa.
I know. And what I should have done is sold everything then and there. And I should have to Sir Oliver because that's what he said. He's like, sell it all by X or whatever. He's like, that was at 8 cents or 7 cents at that time. It was right. It had to be around the election. And it was because it was, I remember looking at it and it was lower. And it was like, and I was like, damn it. And I didn't do it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it ride. Because then if I sell it and then it goes up, that whole thing. And I'm like mulling it over and it's like, what, $50 more? And I should have sold it and bought the other stuff I didn't, but I don't know. Right now, it's just staying where it is because it's just kind of there. So, what are you gonna do?
Did it?
Well, that's the thing. It's not in being utilized. Once it's utilized, then its value goes up, and it'll ebb and flow according to its transactional volume. That's about it. That'll determine its value, is its transactional volume, and that's about it at that point.
Did anybody?
Because it's a mechanism of exchange, is what it is.
That's so crazy. Like I still don't. As many of those spaces I did, like I still don't get it. Like my brain can't read my. It's like if you talk to an old person, and you're just like, how do you get to do something? Like you try to explain how they had, like you have to ask somebody who's like 15. That's kind of where I'm at because, like, I'm not that person who knows anymore. I'm the person that has to ask a 15-year-old and like, how this stuff works because I can't do tech. I literally just had the pictures I was looking for in front of me and like I leaned over and it disappeared. Like, no! This is such a pain in the ass.
I remember, and I can't remember if it was 12 or 14, whenever it was, Bitcoin was like $1. and I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and a lady came in, and she was trying to sell Bitcoin to everybody, sell them on the idea, and this was in a small town where I was at, and so I asked this lady. I said, I didn't understand. You got a strong financial background, and but I couldn't wrap my head around this for some reason at the time. And I said, well, where can you use this? And she said, oh, you can use it, in different places. I said, well, tell me around here where I can use it. She looked it up and she said, well, there's a dress shop. I said, well, I don't wear dresses, so give me another, give me another option here. She didn't have anywhere. The closest place was, like 90 miles away. It's like, all right, I'll give you $100. I was just going to help her. I didn't understand it. I figured it was just trash what she was talking about. So anyway, while she was off talking to other people, I asked my business partner, I said, do you understand this? And she said, yeah, I understand it well. And I said, do you think this is worth anything? And she said, maybe, maybe not, probably so. She said it's new, but anyway, she kind of explained it. So I thought, I don't know, I'm just going to help the lady out. Couldn't find the lady. She tried to sell me 100 Bitcoin for $100. That was her deal. I guess that's what it was going for. And I don't know if she was a rep directly for them or if they're brokers. I have no clue how that worked. But yeah, so I missed out on a bunch of money, because I just could not wrap my head around it at the time.
I still can't wrap my head around the idea of like where stuff comes from. Like because it doesn't really exist. It's like, oh, but it is here. You gotta mine it, and I'm like, mining is like I imagine like people down in a mine digging around for something. It's not like it's scattered around, buried on the internet. Like I don't. It's like a scavenger hunt almost. I don't know. I like scavenger hunts, but to me, it's like, well, you got to have a computer and it's got to mine to find the bits. Like who had it to begin with? Like who hid it there? Like you know, to me, it's such a crazy concept. It's always messed with me, and I still am convinced. Satoshi Nakamoto is like, I don't know. I know like Bill Gates, like the birthday of Satoshi Nakamoto is like one day away from like Microsoft's birthday. I don't know. It's just
Bitcoin is fake and gay.
I won't put that in the title. It's tempting. It really is. Oh my god.
But it has made a bunch of millionaires.
It has. It's crazy. And like unexpected millionaires, you know?
It was like the internet. If you got in on the internet, you made big money there for a while. Then, then of course, other things. It's like AI. I mean, I'm trying to learn AI as quick as I can without an engineering background. But then I'm thinking, well, do I really even know what I'm talking about without an engineering background? It's kind of like, okay, I know a car. I can see all the features of the car and I can, see how the engine's put together. But that doesn't mean I know that I could design one. So I really don't know the inner workings any better than that. And to me, AI is kind of that. It's so far, the engineering is so far advanced that I'm not going to go back to school to learn that. And not to mention my math's not that good anyway.
Yeah, I didn't realize my mic was open. My math always sucked. That is the truth. Oh, I don't know, man. I just it's crazy to me because I just feel like, you know, we all have to just do whatever we can to survive and do our best and try to get along. And come on here, like I guess I don't have a tolerance because people are just good. They don't know anybody, so they're just mean anyway. Like just because they can be, they're present. So I thought, and I see something and I'm just like, I'm not even going to deal with this person. I either block or like, why engage? If somebody's, they're just going to be like hateful and weird, you know, there's just no time for it. You know, like, I feel like where we're at right now and like the last few days have felt really, really off to me. Like I just feel like everything's off and it's weird. And I don't like the divisive feeling. It just feels weird and off and creepy. And I don't like the momentum of it. It's like once the ball starts rolling, it's like all of a sudden like what is that, like why is that happening, like why, like I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know, I'm just rambling, but Scorpio, I want to check in and make sure are you still awake? It's
No, I'm sleeping.
you talking in your sleep. I don't know, man.
I'm trying to go to sleep. It's like 4 a.m.
I know it's 4 a.m. here. Well, yeah, we're in the same time zone, so. And I probably will have to go because I have to get some stuff written and printed out, and my printer is literally new in the box. Like I've never set it up before, so not only do I have to do this, I have a printer that's brand new, waiting till last minute. Like they're gonna think I'm a fucking crackhead when I walk in there, and I'm gonna look like I was planning on, like, you know, I would take a shower today so I could just do everything I need to do tomorrow, like, you know, just get up and make sure everything is together and, like, you know, get a good night's sleep. I just don't see it happening, you know. So I like, do I even bother sleeping? Do I just take a shower to wake up and then I don't know. We'll see what
I
happens.
don't know why this is so hard for you. Just get a piece of paper, write down what you have to
No,
do,
I already did that part.
and
Like
check it.
this part is a proof. Like this part is the stuff you have to prove. You're supposed. I technically am supposed to have, like, you're supposed to go in with your estimates, all that. Like I don't have estimates, but they're going to be from ChatGPT. Like you know, and if that's not good enough, at least it's in there, and they could say, "All right, well, you had the estimate, but we might need one like a real human." And then I'll be like, "Oh, I wasn't aware," and then I might be able to appeal. But at least I have to have some kind of mark. You know, like all the stuff has to be present in this. So basically, all the evidence has to be present, and I can expand on the evidence if I need to. Does that make sense? So I just have to make as much in as possible. So if they need more, like, there's room for more.
Bring up Brianna. She'll help you.
I don't see her.
You could pretend like you're trying to get a loan and see if it qualifies for desktop underwriting, which means, yeah, they don't have to send anybody else to do a appraisal. They just do it from their desk.
That's what they're doing. This is all going to be from, like, I go there. So there's nobody coming out. I don't really want anybody over there, to be honest with you. I just want to be like, I want to go in there. I want to dump the information and be like, my house is worth less. Make it be so, and like, just make it happen. Like, in a perfect world, that's where my brain is at. So I don't know if I'll be able to pull it or not. I'll have to do an update to see.
How much is that going to hurt you on the value of your home, though?
What's that?
How much is that going to hurt you on the value of your home?
I don't know. I'm not selling my house. I'm staying here. So, like, if I wanted to sell, you know, I wouldn't want to touch it. But, like, since I don't want to sell, like, I really want to make it be like as worth as less as I can make it, you know?
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't put it in the system, underwriting system, you're okay.
This is
So
just, this is just, there's 3 members. that you meet with, and it's just all they do. It's just revision. So like if you're looking, like I put an application to appeal the property thing. You know, basically on that thing, you just basically like people weren't filling it out a lot. Like I wrote a lot on mine, so I wish I could find it. I could make sure I cover everything that I wrote. But of course, I don't know what the fuck it is. Could be anywhere. But
Ask them. I want you to ask them if they've ever heard of Chevron deference.
I don't think that they'll have any idea about Chevron deference. Like I personally, I love the whole Chevron deference thing because I feel like it. I feel like anything and everything. When that thing happened, like I opened the door to challenge. My my favorite thing to talk about with Chevron deference is the approval of aspartame and how if you go in with Chevron deference and say, you know what, we now have the challenge because you know this bullshit and why it's bullshit, and there's so much evidence as to why it's bullshit. But like aspartame should have never been approved. But you can challenge any agency. It's not just it's like if there's an agency that's abbreviated, Chevron deference allows you to now challenge anything they brought up.
Nikki, you so smart. I love it. So yeah, just ask them. You know the answer. They're gonna be like, "What? What's that? Oh, never heard of it."
I
You
know
already know
it's
the
like
answer, but you got to fuck with them.
the DMV. It's like I can you know anything and everything. You know, I don't know. I got this years ago because I went to go to get my I mean, I don't this was back in the I don't even think I had internet yet. But like I went to get my plates renewed and they're like you need a new gas cap. Well, every fucking person in line, they were sending down the street to get this gas cap. And I'm like, "What kind of racket do you have?" This $5 fucking gas cap you're going to send me down to the local AutoZone like who's paying you people? Every single person was being sent. The AutoZone they had to stock up on 100,000 fucking gas caps for the whole city of Cleveland because everybody and their brother was being sent to get a gas cap. So of course me in the asshole I'm like, fuck all of this. And I was on the phone with as high as I could go. And they told me this is the answer. I shit you not. I'm like, what's the purpose of this? Like, why are we even doing this? Because we have to get our e-checks. So basically, the e-checks just place because of the industry that we have. So in order to balance out, which it actually does, there's nothing that balances anything out because the amounts of industry and you know the emissions it puts into the system is nowhere near like what happens with a faulty gas cap. But the way that they explained it to me was like, you know, because they basically have a racket and they don't want to pay the fines, like they burn their off at night, and you know, I was like, that's the craziest thing ever. Like, so we have emissions checks just so the industries they have to worry about whatever
You
they.
are cracking me up right now because doesn't John Kerry fly his G5 around wherever the fuck he needs to go, and it burns like 20,000 gallons of gas, but we can't have any vapors coming out of our gas cap.
I
Shove it
know, and
up
I
your
get the fucking gas
ass,
cap.
John Kerry.
I do
You
believe it was
fucking
from my Cavalier and a 1989 Cavalier Z24, and I like that thing was falling apart by the time I was like, I remember it was stick shift. So here I am, like I had a taco because at the time Taco Bell still had their Mexican pizza for like $1.99. So here I am trying to eat a Mexican pizza, like driving a stick shift. All of a sudden, like the window of my Cavalier Z24 starts to fall through the bottom of the door that was fucking rusted out. So I'm trying to hold it without like the window falling through. I have my knee on the steering wheel, my Taco Bell in the hand that I'm trying to drive the stick shift with, and I'm trying to not have to end up going to the hospital with sliced up, a hand from the rusty stuff my window. No, I never did have to get in a shot, so but that was years ago, and I'm fine. I'm still fine. But I mean, it was just. That's why I should have waited for people Gen X to die before we try to take over the planet. It'll never happen. Like, we will do whatever we have to do. If we can drive a stick shift while holding a window that's falling through the door of our rusted out car while driving with our knee and managing, city traffic in Cleveland while eating a Taco Bell Mexican pizza, they are not going to succeed. So
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because I thought a tetanus shot was like really, really good for you, right? It protected you from a rusty nail and all the other shit. But now that we come to find out that these shots were all kind of nefarious to fuck us up and give us autoimmune issues and other shit has nothing to do with actual health, it just pisses me off. So you mentioning that tetanus shot, because we all used to think that was to make us healthy, but it's to fuck us up.
well, maybe it gave us vaccines that made us have superpowers back in the day when they were testing on us. I don't know. Whatever. We ate the red M&Ms. Like, we lived through it. Like, we ate stuff that you're not supposed to eat. Like, I mean, I ate liver snaps and cat food and dirt and mud, and I didn't care. And I lived through it. Like, they're like, holy shit, we can feed anything to this fucking generation, and you're going to survive. Like, they show those kids on those videos from China that can, like, dribble balls when they're like 4 years old and like juggle, cats or whatever they're doing. They like make them look like super children. That's what Gen X is, but it was just because we were feral and we were let out to do whatever because that's how it was. Our parents didn't want to deal with bullshit, so they just were like, get the fuck out of the house. I don't care where you go. Just come home alive and don't wreck the car.
Yeah, but now they've gotten way more effective with these shots, and the kids. If you look at a bunch of kids, they have issues. The little kids, you can see they have issues now. You can see it in their eyes.
You know do you remember? So this is something that kind of bothers me because I remember, let's say probably in the 90s or like mid to late 90s, like one of my best friends, she is an intervention specialist. Like, she deals with special ed kids. Like, at the time she was in social work, and she was going to school for it, but she's now been doing it since that time. So probably close to 30 years. And I remember having a conversation with her back then about the soy thing. Do you remember the whole soy controversy and how they were like trying to figure out if they should stop feeding soy to like boys because it would mess up their testosterone when they were growing? Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
That was a thing. Like, it was like it was basically like, so the generation of babies that would have been around where they would be now, and I look at it and I'm like, holy shit, like it would have been like feminizing them. Like, it was messing up their hormones. Whatever this was happening with soy, whatever it was, I can't remember. But it was like that was in the 90s, and I look at the kids from that era now and I'm like, holy fuck, like, was that really happening? And you try to look for it online and it's like buried. It's non-existent, Hi, Brianna.
All I know is that they made insulation on wires out of soy based insulation now, and the rats fucking eat the goddamn sheathing off wires now. So had those bastards get in my airplane.
Yeah, like the using copper pipes instead of, we got to use a PVC. It's like copper was like, probably doing better things. Anyway, I'll shut up because Brianna's here. I haven't seen her in a while either. So it's nice to see you.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going okay. I'm I haven't done a space for like 500 years, and like I'm doing it now because I have deadline to meet, and anything that I could put in the way of like, messing with my ADHD, like my ADHD is like, open a space because you have to have a bunch of shit on it, and this makes it harder. So that's where we're at.
I know that feeling. What's your deadline for?
What's up?
Sorry, there's something wrong with my mic when like there's another mic open. It gets like a bunch of it gets like a bunch of reverberation, I guess. I don't know. That's what I heard from Diligent. It's something on my phone. I apologize. Anyways, I was just asking, what is your deadline for? Like, I totally understand. I totally understand putting that off, by the way.
Sorry, my phone's been messing up too. I have to go to the Board of Revision tomorrow. To meet, because my property taxes went up. So I'm trying to. I'm like, this is all that's wrong with my house. So it's not worth what you say it's worth. Because I'm gonna die here. Like, I don't want to. I'm not selling anything. Like, I'm just gonna be here forever. But there's a lot of stuff that I have to do, and so I already got an extension, but in typical fashion, like, I'm waiting till last minute. Like, I haven't even sent my printer. So I'm going through trying to find pictures and stuff that I like need to do, and like I have to take pictures tomorrow when it's light outside because I got on the phone with my brother and didn't get pictures done today. So, but I have to write basically. I have ChatGPT set up, so I'm gonna have it basically do all the estimates, and then if they need to actually have people estimates, at least it's in the file, so it can be changed. So I have to at least have stuff present in the file, and then if they need more, then they could expand on what's there. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm in meetings at 3 in the afternoon. Thank God.
What state is it?
I'm in Ohio, and we just got nailed with our property taxes. Actually, I was talking about it earlier. There's a lady who started a petition um for the state, like, to get signatures to have something put on the ballot that gets the property tax taken off. So I am in touch with her, sort of. Like, I talked to somebody that put me in touch with her. She sent me some stuff, and I'm dealing with other stuff. So as soon as this is done, I'm gonna try to get in touch with her later this week to find out, like, what's the deal with the petition, what are the ins and outs around it, what are the plans when people say, oh no, we need property tax, we can pay for all this shit, like, what are the plans to rebut that uh, sort of hesitance, and then try to figure out, where we're at with the signatures, how to get them. We have a year, so I don't think we have an ex present, so I'm going to find out, like, if they want one, if she wants me to start one, or if she wants to start one, or however that, because we need to bring attention to it, and people are on here, I think, sometimes more focused on stuff like that, and they're easier to get that kind of word out. But yeah.
Um, yeah, so wasn't it Ohio that just recently had like a big teacher strike for increased pay and cost of living expenses? I don't know, but that would drastically increase local property taxes. And then my other question was, is the petition for the county or like your city, or is it statewide?
I think it's statewide, and there is something interesting when it comes to school, because I think it was sometime in the 90s where there was a ruling saying that it was unconstitutional to have property taxes pay for anything school related. And I haven't dug into it, but if that's the case, like, they've never really honored that, because they still do the stuff with the school. So I'm not sure what the holdup is. Um, I'm not sure if she knows or how that could work, because if that's the case, then they should be paying us back as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know about a teacher strike. I can talk to my friend. She hasn't mentioned anything about a strike, but she got she ended up vaccine injured. So she ended up with like which kind of crazy, because she ended up with intracranial hypertension, but from the location, it were doing the shots from one of the gymnasiums in Cleveland, and she knows of, I think it was either 5 or 6 other people, like, around the same time that she was, um, shortly after the whole vaccine thing. Like, they got the vaccines second vaccines, and then it was like, I don't know, within a few months there were 5 or 6, she said, that had strokes. I don't know if they lived or died or whatever, but she ended up with intracranial hypertension because of it, and she's relapsing now. But she had to step back from her full-time teaching career. She does it part-time. She's very good at what she does, so she works. I wish she could get on here, because they, in her area, they're trying to even get her on the school board, because she's just really smart about everything related to the school stuff. I don't know why I'm talking so much. Just go ahead. Sorry. She's okay.
Yeah, no worries. Well, look, if you need any help on the petition side or researching the laws or court cases in Ohio, let me know. Did you say Ohio or Iowa?
Ohio.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know if you need any help digging into that type of stuff. That's my wheelhouse.
What is your wheelhouse exactly with everything? What part of the law stuff do you do?
Um, Private property rights is really like my focus. And under that umbrella is agricultural or USDA policy. So I focus on USDA regulations, but in terms of the law, my wheelhouse is really private property rights in terms of like the legal structure. That's the constitutional side of things. Um, and then the regulatory things sort of follow after that, if you will.
Okay, that would be, I'm sure that would come in handy with, like, I don't know what it was here. We had two things. I had it explained to me, but I can't even explain it. Two things to do at once. I don't know what those two things are, because I was under the impression that property taxes were supposed to be set up to not spike. So that wasn't the case. And now everybody's panicking because some people, I had a little over 31% increase. It's not supposed to go up by more than 1 or 2%, I didn't think. So I was on the low end. The average for Cuyahoga County was 41%, which was one of the higher ones in the state. So there were some people that had $100,000 added to their property, like, or a double value. So, like, if their house was worth $100,000, they would get 100% increase, basically. So people got 100% increase on their property taxes. So to me, I wouldn't think that that would be lawful to do, because basically, like, you know, if you're on a, like, any kind of, everybody's on some kind of fixing. You have your budget, and that's what it is. Like, when I bought my house, I bought it within a certain budget that I could maintain. And, to have any amount go up, like, especially when people are already struggling, you're putting in a position where, you're going to be looking at, people that can't pay their mortgage because it's going up so high. So to me, it doesn't even seem like it's legal or ethical to do that. So, I mean, I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, so the state legislature typically determines what the percentage is for increases, but then the county will assess the value of the home, and so combined, and then depending, so counties may have separate tax structures for properties, and at so in many cases, they will pass things like a fine or a fee or a levy. So it's not called a tax, but it operates like a tax. It all goes into an increase in the property taxes that you pay. So it's hard. It's hard to know without diving into it and looking it up for you. Like I'd need to take a look at the whatever the budget was that the Ohio State legislature just passed, and look into the property tax rate that they agreed upon. And then I'd have to look at like the specific county data to figure out what the, like how the assessment is based in order to figure out if there was like some, legal infraction that happened. I'm not an attorney, by the way. I'm just a journalist and a policy analyst. So like I write for various outlets based on policy, and then I also work for, a nonprofit as a policy fellow. So that's, I just want to put that out there. Like, I'm not an attorney, so but I can look into these things, and if you needed help, I could at least like pull attention to a couple of different things.
I appreciate that. So, sometimes I don't know. Adam, I see him as connecting with his hand up. It's like, I don't know if he must be, I don't
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, real quick though, what I'm gonna say with this thing, like, I appreciate you offering, because I think when it comes to getting this on the ballot, it's going to be really important, and spreading information and making people aware, because it is a bipartisan issue. Like, it doesn't matter, people don't care when you're messing with money, especially this much. It affects everybody in such a significant way that they kind of hopefully will set things aside to be able to kind of, work through it. So, but I know when it comes to, I'm very interested in law. I love like anything medical or legal, like anything medical or legal. Like, I find it very interesting. I always have, and I'm like the advocate when it comes to anything medical. Like in my family, they always have me set up for like anything. Just nuts. I'm the most batshit crazy one in the family, but when it comes to that, it's weird. Like, I go into a totally different mode. Every fucking doctor always asks me like, "Are you in the field? Like, what do you do?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm just a crazy motherfucker who's like, thought about everything and everything." But yeah. So I do get interested in that, especially when it comes to the advocating portion, because I feel like it all works together. The more you know about law, I think, even if you're not a lawyer, it helps you when you're doing advocating, or where you're writing, or when you're, I'm dying for the Babylon Bee to find my post about how technically it'd be legal. So Mayor Karen Bass, if she went against the federal government to say that they're going to basically like, help illegals, technically it is legal for Trump to tariff them. He could smack tariffs on LA, and I am dying and I cited all the different laws. It's all there.
You're right.
Right? I don't know if you saw I think I have it pinned, but I'm like, if I would love for them to write that article about like Trump tariffs LA, I think it would be fucking hysterical. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Adam.
Oh, no worries. I just wanted to ask Brianna. What's up, Brianna? Um,
Hey,
yeah,
Adam.
yeah. I was at Publix, and I usually buy organic. I know you say that doesn't mean shit, but whatever. It's my peace of mind. I've been doing it for like close to, I don't know, 15, 16 years, something around there. Anyways,
But there was a recall.
I was at, listen, hold on. I was at Publix, and I saw this brand called Force of Nature. They just got it. Like, I asked the butcher, he's like, or whatever, the guy that handles the meat department. Basically when they got it, and he's like, yeah, just like 2 days ago, we got that fresh in stock, and it seems they're claiming regeneratively sourced, which made me think of you, right? Instantly. And it's from like Austin, Texas. And I don't know, have you heard of the Force of Nature? And do they work with any of
No.
the guys that you know?
No. I'll be honest, it's probably JBS. So for example, Whole Foods, or Publix, I believe it is. has a contract with Organic Rancher brand, or maybe I'm mixing it up with Whole Foods. They recently had like a big recall on all of their quote unquote organic beef. Um, but it's actually owned by Purdue Farms. So, like many of these labels that you see are owned by one of the big packers. That's why we say the only way to actually get clean beef is to go
Straight to the
directly to the
farmer.
rancher.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
in Florida, it's very,
mm,
like, you know, Florida, obviously. So you're very capable of doing so.
yeah, it's, look, when four multinational corporations are, importing cheap grind from all over the world, and, they own the means of production. They also own 85% of the entire livestock industry, and process 95% of our domestic meat supply through just 5 main facilities that do 5,400 head of cattle per day. Or if it's hogs, they're doing about 1,200 hogs per hour. So you think about that in terms of like meat volume. I mean, that's like thousands of tons every week. There's literally no way. Like, that's why I laugh at people when they talk about like how EID, the electronic ear tags, are going to somehow make our meat supply safer. I mean, it's laughable. Anyways, but yeah, so here's the problem, right? When you've got 4 companies that own the 5 main packing facilities, and those 4 companies own all of the different labels that are sold in the grocery store, you think you have a choice, but that choice is merely an illusion. So JBS, for example, owns 120 different USDA certified labels. So everything that you're buying from Walmart to Kroger, it's all coming from the same exact beef processing plant. So yeah, I mean, the only way to really know what you're getting, you're potentially just paying more for quote unquote organic at the grocery store. Honestly, the only way to really know what it is that you're getting is to get it directly from the rancher and to know your cow.
Facts.
Yeah, we have in Ohio here, there's a lot of, you know, I think we're kind of lucky because we have a lot of
Butchers,
people.
probably.
Well, there's a lot of people that they're starting to do the homesteading and the local stuff, like right down the street. My dog is ringing the bell to go outside. Right down the street, I have one of my neighbors, and she raises bees. She's got chickens and ducks, and she's always adding. They're always adding stuff too. And she homeschools her kid, and it's just I see more of it where I live. Like I'm not like right in the city. I have neighbors and stuff that are close, but like I'm not, I have like a little under an acre on a river. It's really tiny house, and I love it here, but I think that's a good thing. It's like there's more people here that I'm aware of that, they're starting to raise um their own gardens or their chickens or they're more up on that kind of thing. And I think there's just more access to it. Like I can go get honey from her or eggs or whatever. And we- I'm glad more people are learning about it, but at the same time, like it bothers me how much our food source has been like infiltrated. It just seems like of all the things that you would want to have safe in your country, your food and your medical should be like at the top of the list. Like you wouldn't want any of that coming from another country. Like it puts you in a position of it puts you in a really bad position, because if either one of those, if you rely on somebody outside of your country, like you could get fucked so easily. It just sucks. And I
Well,
don't I'm not.
Well,
Go ahead, sorry. Oops.
no,
well.
no. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at this New World screwworm outbreak. That's traveled up the migrant caravan route after millions of people breached the biological barrier, the Darien Gap. We're literally dealing with a flesh-eating parasite now, and it's knocking at our southern border. And in the 60s, when the United States dealt with this before, it cost ranchers and the United States economy billions of dollars to eradicate. But yeah, I mean, I think that is a really good point. Our supply lines, our supply chain is extremely volatile right now. And we just had another merchant ship, one of the big tanker ships, that was, I think it was like hijacked or shot at or something like that in the open seas on its way to a port in Southern California. So, I mean, yeah, our supply chain is dangerously volatile. I know that, we're looking at different proxy wars near warm water ports and such, but yeah, there's never been a more important time to decentralize our processing capability and return it, back to the states. Anyways, I won't get into all that. I'm glad you brought up the fact that your property is on an acre. I did have a question about that in the beginning, because if your acreage is USDA, I don't know if Ohio does it like this, but in South Dakota, for example, we have lower property taxes based on the health of our soil. So our soil grading actually goes towards our property value. So for example, we have grade A soil, and we plant crops here on our farm. So we have a much lower tax bracket. So I'd have to look at that for Ohio, but that's potentially something to argue. I don't know if you're registered with the USDA, or your land is zoned for agricultural at all, but that could potentially help.
I thought about, because it's not quite an acre. I think I can't remember, like a point. It's just under an acre. So, but there's things that I was looking at before I should revisit, because there's certain, because I'm on a river, like there's certain things that, like if I were to plant some sort of, I could designate like a wildlife sanctuary or whatever, like, and grow a bunch of flowers, stays for the bees or whatever. But I think there's another thing I can do, because it would help filter the water from the street to the river. If that makes any sense. I can't remember what it's called. That was like trying to help. It's like a from the soil, like conservation type of aspect, where you do something to your yard and it helps maintain the health of the river.
Yeah,
So,
or the beekeeping is another possibility. It really just depends on what's codified in state statute. But yeah, there are different exemptions like that you could definitely look into, Nikki.
yeah, I need to find out. Need to find out what they are. Like I'm so mad. You waited till the last minute to do all this stuff, because I'm looking at. I have pictures I have to do, so that's what I'm doing as I'm looking through, like scouring through thousands and thousands of pictures, looking for stuff that I have from when my roof got messed up when they were doing it. That has to be dealt with, and some other stuff. So that's what I'm doing as I'm talking, to try to. But yeah, I just sometimes I overthink. My like my brain just gets the better of me, and I end up overthinking to the point where it's like, just do it. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, like, just do it and try to get the property tax thing passed, and it would be on the ballot in 2026. I think they're trying to look at Vivek Ramaswamy for governor here. So, I mean, we have DeWine now. I've never been a huge fan of him, but it's better than, being blue. But I'm kind of sick of hearing that. So, I don't know, man. I just wonder, why does it have to be so complicated? Like, why can't everybody just, like, get along and not be shady as fuck, and, like, just be normal people? I don't understand why it's such a complicated aspect of life.
So something just happened to your microphone, and it sounds like you're underwater. I'm just letting you know.
I have been dealing with that all day. Is it still like that? I might have to swipe out and swipe back in.
I'm gonna go. Just DM me if you need help. Have a good night. Now my
Guys, if you can hear me, I think this space is about to crash. So if it does, it is what it is, and I can't bring anybody up. It's not letting me do that. So I do see that somebody's requesting, but I cannot bring them up. Like, it's not letting me. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this so I can get my shit done. We'll do it again soon, and I do appreciate you all hanging out and chit-chatting. Enjoy the rest of your day, and just keep in mind, whenever you're hearing anything, try not to act out of emotion. Stop to think and use your intuition.